So we've just there talked about soft tokens. Now we're going to talk about hard tokens. And what you can see here are a list of hard token manufacturers. And these are also called two-factor auth or 2FA dongles. And you'll notice they're offering two types here. And you may recognize OTP, one-time passwords, which we were just previously talking about when we were talking about our soft tokens, Google Authenticator, Authy. They were OTP soft tokens. They were implementing this standard, the OAuth standard. And these hard tokens are also implementing OTP, but just in hardware. So that's OTP. Then we've got this universal second factor, U2F. So what's that? This is an open authentication standard. It was initially developed by Google and Yubico, and it is known as a FIDO standard. So if you see FIDO, F-I-D-O anywhere, it means it supports these hard tokens here. The soft tokens, as I said, these are disconnected tokens, but these hard tokens are connected tokens. So let me show you an example of how they work, and you can see how they are connected tokens. So let's look at Yubico here. And one of the Yubico is this one. This is the YubiKey 4. This is going to give us our second factor, our second password. So again, I'm going to use LastPass as the example application, but other applications will work in the same way. You just need to find the same settings with those particular services. So let's go into LastPass, Vault, and of course we need to set up the fact that it will use YubiKey as its second factor of authentication. So if we go down to the bottom here we go, we can see Yubico, so we would enable this. But actually in this example, Yubico or YubiKey only works with the premium LastPass. So we would enable this, and then we would log in. We get our prompt for our second factor for YubiKey. We need to insert the YubiKey into the USB, and then we need to press the Y, the button that's on it, and this will auto generate, as you can see, the authentication, and it will log us in. That is a connected token. No copy and paste was required. If we see here, we've got the YubiKey 4 Nano. So these hard tokens can work in different ways. This one supports, for example, NFC for Android phones. So you can swipe this near your phone to get your second factor of authentication without actually needing to plug it in, because it supports NFC, which is pretty cool. This doesn't work on iPhones though yet, because Apple doesn't support the FIDO standard. If you want to know more about YubiKey in particular and LastPass, there is a video here that I would recommend. Let's have a look at these dongles in a little bit more detail so we can see what we might be buying. So here in the example, we've got YubiKey 4. So if we go a little bit further down, we can see here what it's offering. Secure static passwords. That means it's just going to generate a static password for you. It's not two-factor authentication, but it might be useful for something. YubiKey's own one-time password, so that would be compatible with any service that is compatible with it. And then we've got down to the ones that we know are more universally compatible. Now I mentioned before the time-based one-time passwords. That's what Authy, Google Authenticator use. But another form of one-time password is an event-driven one-time password. So some sites and services that support OTP will also support this method as well. And that's actually a HMAC-based one-time password. H for HMAC and T here, time-based one-time password. And then here, there's the FIDO U2F. And the Yubico keys support U2F because Yubico is one of the companies that helped create it along with Google. And if we go down here, you'll see that they're promoting sites that do support it. Google, GitHub, Dropbox, etc. Let's go to Nitro Key. You can see with Nitro Key, they have one that supports U2F and the rest of them actually don't support it. And then if we scroll down, you can see these two support OTP, so those are going to work with any of the OTP services. There's a universal two-factor, just that one. And we can see here the sort of prices you need to pay. About €50 there, about $40, $40. It's that sort of range of price for the hardware-based second factor authentication dongles. Now, universal two-factor, the FIDO standard, is actually more secure than OTP, one-time password, but both are much, much better than single-factor authentication. If you want to know the technical detail, give this a read. It explains the differences. But also, one-time password is more widely adopted. When it comes to businesses and business users, often they use these things here, RSA tokens, which are RSA proprietary. They have hardware tokens like you can see here. They also have software token versions. They have connected and disconnected versions. And to use these, you would need an RSA server in your business to use these. And they are used in many, many big businesses, especially for remote access into the office. But it's the same principle. You can see there, that's a time-based one-time password.